It's just creeping along. We've got to find out. Obviously, they're having big-time issues here, and this has sort of been the story of the season, whether crashes during the race or mechanical issues. It has not been the season Takuma Sato would have hoped for. Moments of greatness, 2 pole positions. We'll have to get with the team. The team said he was doing it perfectly. of this yellow flag as they had all just pitted. But obviously he's trying to make some sort of strategy move or had an issue with the car. We'll find out. Pablo Montoya has completed all but 2 laps this season. That's second only to his teammate Will Power, who's missing just 1 lap. He has not been complaining about the car since he had that road weekend.
President and CEO of Pocono Raceway with that. Gentlemen, if you're set to the right or left end of that trophy, so we get a photo with you. Right there, perfect. Thank you.
It is big race and one of another 500 race, and the Pocono stands out itself. Obviously, it's obviously tricky triangle, you know, the three corner thing, but it's how can I say? I can describe that one is a very combination of a high speed road course and oval. If you look at the turn one, which has got a huge banking, but still on and on and on. And most of the track divided 2 or 4 corners, which ends in on 90 degrees. But that one's almost coming back. So it's a huge hairpin, but you have to go there over 220 miles per hour, which is like sensational. It's a really, really great feeling. And then of course turn 2 is a little king, and you need a little, you know, the cars got lively. But the problem is going turn 3 is very, very difficult, because now the cars set it up as you need the banking support, where turn 3 has got no banking. So cars suddenly get free, so we have to use the tool a lot. So during the one lap, we actually use the tools twice and to settle down the car. And you almost feel falling off the track, because your vision is going to with a high G load, as long high speed corner, you have to balance and everything. So that's a great challenge. Not necessarily go side by side all the time like the other track, but Pocono is very, you have to set up, you have to really considering as a 2 actions to be able to overtake the people, and that's a great challenge. I love it. It is tricky, yeah. and I had a good run over there. At the same time, I had a little bitter experience too. Last year, we thought we have a car capable to challenge for the winning, but we had a little issues and failure. So hopefully 2015 again, even Pocono, that, you know, I want to challenge for the highest level.
Yeah, I like Pocono, you know. Also, I like is where it's placed, you know, in the middle of like nowhere in the forest. You have this like retro circuit, you know. It's like, it looks like old, but the track is really nice, really big. All the corners are different. I'm being really competitive all the time. In Indy Lights, I won the race. This year, I finished 3rd. So I love the track. I think the spectators also like it. Last year, after the race, I think it was like more than 100 Colombians there, with the flags all painted with the Colombian, also with the Colombian shirt. So after the race, when Juan won and I finished 3rd, they were crazy, you know, shouting Colombia, Colombia. So that was a really nice memory. That's why I also like that track a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Pocono is pretty cool. Pocono is one of those races where, I don't know, I felt when I came to Indy, I was kind of disappointed being the first oval. So that was the second oval, big oval, after Indy, and well, actually it was the 3rd, because Texas, you know, finished 3rd in Texas. So we were there, and I felt we had everything right. I was on pole. It's cool, you know. One of the cool things about Team Penske is every week you're fighting for pole with your teammates. It makes it really tough.
Yeah, the tricky triangle. It's definitely very tricky, and you know, I think for us, the first time going there in 2013 and having a podium sweep, you know, myself, Dario, and Charlie, was huge for the team. It was for Honda at that time. I think their 100th, our 200th. It was kind of a lot of milestones going all on, and it actually kicked off our run for the championship. And so it's definitely, you know, it was the first time there, but has a good place in my heart, that race to you know, continue going back to. And last year we came up with not a bad result, but definitely struggled a little bit. But it's definitely, it is a tricky track. It you know, you got turn 1 flat out, high banking, and turn 3 for me is definitely one of the toughest corners on any of these circuits. So always excited to go there. Move dates a little bit. It's going to be a lot of pressure on becoming second to last race coming down for the championship.
I mean, I'm still an oval guy at heart, so it was cool to go back to Pocono. I had seen races there when I was young, and really most of my life just watched NASCAR races there because IndyCar wasn't racing there. So to be able to go back to a historic place and their family and the way that racetrack was built and the connections to the speedway, that's something that's important to me. And you feel their passion when you go there towards open wheel racing and how it fits into their heritage. So I enjoy going there, and it's a really cool and challenging track. I think Turn 1 at Pocono, outside of Indianapolis, is probably one of the coolest corners on the schedule. Really high commitment level and really hard to get right. So that's a track that I'm really happy we still go to.
Yeah, it really is. I drove there in Indy Lights, and it's the only time I ever drove there. I got second. It's the front straight is so wide. It's almost like 8 lanes. It feels like. So you go in the turn 1 and you think it's going to stay that wide, but it really narrows up and it compresses in the middle. And the first lap I went out there in Indy Lights, I was like, wow, this track's really wide. It's going to be easy flat, no big deal. I go into turn 1 and it got real tight and I compressed and the thing swapped ends on me in the first lap of practice, and I almost stuffed it in the wall trying to go flat the first lap, and I was like, whoa, let's back down, and had to really respect the place after that and build up the speed. And it really is tricky. The name they give it, that's real, and it's definitely a track you got to respect. And all 3 turns are completely different from the others. Turn 1's banking, compresses, very high speed. Turn 2 is kind of like a kink. I never really had many issues there. And then turn 3 is another super fast turn, but it's like totally flat. So the car is just kind of more, it's acting up a little bit more, and you're just kind of like skating through it, which could get a little bit scary, especially on cold or used tires. So definitely a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, Pocono is a unique place as well. I was asked earlier a question, how many adjustments do you think you make in a track like that? I said, probably 3-4 adjustments per lap. It all depends on circumstances, the wind. Every corner is different, so, you can never have a perfect setup. You're always going to be suiting yourself to one corner or another, but never all 3. So it's a very tricky place, but, that was one of my most recent wins in Indy Lights, so I enjoy the place a lot. I think I've found my rhythm to deal with, how to deal with places like that. And I'm really excited. I think, the fans were great as well. There's a good group of Colombian fans there, and they were going nuts. And it's just nice. It's nice to have that support, and it's nice to feel like you're doing something for the fans.